Hello, this is Charles Scoville, your Golden Harvest Great Lakes area agronomist, and welcome back for another edition of the Golden Harvest Agronomy in Action podcast. Now, today is August the 14th, and I'm actually coming to you from the camping area of the Shiawassee County Fair. Now, if you know me at all, you know that in addition to my passion for agronomy, my family also has a deep rooted tradition in showing livestock at the fair each year, primarily in the sheep department. So, though I'm officially on vacation this week, I still wanted to keep up on our podcast tradition. So, this week on the podcast, we're going to talk about, first of all, what's happening at the Shiawassee County Fair, and secondly, going to have a little conversation with Daniel Lindquist, our Golden Harvest sales rep in Central Michigan, to hear what was on the minds of farmers attending this year's AgroExpo event this past Tuesday and Wednesday. So grab your cup of coffee and let's talk agronomy. Now, first off, it's been a great time here at the fair. Boy, the week started out with having the opportunity to serve as the crops judge for the fair. I was asked to judge corn and soybeans, plus sunflowers, sweet corn, hay, and even maple syrup. Now, the crops, they looked really good this year with my Supreme Champion actually going to some very nice looking soybean plants. Now, on Tuesday, the Youth Sheep Show was a strong competition. And my wife and I, we're 4-H leaders, so, we're not only helping out our club members, but also like to assist those that purchase lambs from us each spring. And well, I'm proud to report that this year the grand champion market lamb was bred and born on our farm and raised by a really hard working young lady and her family. Now, on Thursday, we had the open sheep show and again had a great day by earning the champion Hampshire ewe and the champion crossbred ewe. Now, today is the livestock sale, and we'll wrap up festivities on Saturday night. But unfortunately, this also happened to be the week of the annual AgroExpo north of St. John's, Michigan. Now, most years the expo runs the week after our fair, but due to a later than usual Labor Day, all the fairs this year moved a week later into the summer. But even though I didn't make the show this year, we did have a full contingency of Golden Harvest folks there working our booth, meeting with customers and prospects, and even serving up some smoked sweet corn with all the fixins. Now, one of the folks helping with the booth and the sweet corn was our very own Daniel Lindquist. So I asked him to join the podcast today to share with you what was on the minds of farmers visiting our booth this week. So, Daniel, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks, Charles. And hey, congratulations on the grand champions there at the fair. I know you and your wife and your boys spend a lot of time and effort into your flock, and it's paying off.
Well, thank you, sir. I sure do appreciate that. I love being here, but I sure did miss the expo this year. And I think what I really missed was that sweet corn. I heard some good news on that. Tell me more about that. It's something new from
Well,
us this year, wasn't it?
yes, it was. I had my doubts at first, but Tuesday morning about 7:30, I picked up 500 ears of sweet corn from actually one of our dealers' father that raises sweet corn up in the Milton area, and got her to the AgroExpo site. And the boys were there with the cookers and doused her in water and started grilling sweet corn, and it went over huge, Charles. I was actually shocked. We had quite a few repeat customers.
Yeah. How many did you have is what I want to know.
Well, I had one on Tuesday, and I had one on Wednesday afternoon. I Of the 500 ears of corn, I had to dispose of about 32 of them, but only 31 of them got disposed because the cooler was still warm and the corn was still fresh. So I ate one when I was getting rid of the other ones.
Yeah, you got
No,
more
it
willpower
went
than
over.
I do.
Yeah, it went over great, Charles. It was a good deal.
I'm glad to hear that, and sounds like there's really good toppings. And in addition to feeding the stomachs, we always like feeding the minds of folks too. So I'm always curious about what happens in the conversations and the questions that went on. What were the hot topics this week?
Well, as you know, Charles, when you sit down with a farmer or a grower, it's not just one thing on their mind. It's many things, and we covered the gamut from spider mites to tar spot. Are we going to see it or not see it? Um, to weather, rain or no rain, and my area is dry, and I'm down here in the St. John's area, and it looks like a garden down here, and what am I going to do with my corn silage? It's burning up on my sand fields, and it was just, as you know, it was a lot of give and take and back and forth, and then a lot of the guys, said, "What's new? What do you got coming? What's Golden Harvest got on the horizon?" And we gave us a chance to talk about our new Durastack trade and our Victrado soybean treatment. So, no, we covered a lot of different things, Charles. And I do want to throw in that had a lot of people say, where's that Charles Scoville, the agronomist? I've got some pictures I want to show him. So you were missed, Charles. Even though you weren't there, you were still missed, and still, they still know what you do for us, and not only for us dealers or reps and dealers, but for our growers. So
It's too kind. It was fun. I got a few pictures and different things while I was here at the fair this week, and it's always good to be part of that conversation there. And I always miss the chance to chat with folks as they come through the booth there. And even driving around here, though, driving back and forth, feeding livestock at home and come back to the fair, seeing some spider mite fields. You just tell those bronze looking leaves from the side of the road there. And yet, I was talking to our guys down in northern Indiana, and they have been just pounded on rain this week. I know there's some areas in central lower Michigan, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain there too. So, I think it's been a crazy mixed bag. And but I think it's nice looking at the heat units there. We might finally start to be catching up on heat units, and that's going to be good as we get closer to harvest here this year, I think too.
yeah, we had a lot of comments on kind of the cool June we had, especially the cool nights, and where are we on growing degree units, and the dairy farmers were, what are you kind of eyeballing for a starting date for silage? And I know a lot of guys, they'll dive into their field on a Friday or a Saturday, and then, none of the neighbors are going to chop till the following week. And by Monday morning, they're already behind because the neighbors are flying by them with chopper wagons full of corn silage. So you know how that goes. But I've kind of looked at, maybe I'm a little late here, but I've kind of looked at maybe the September the 14th. That's a Monday. But we got another month here before that shows up. And as you know, in this business, Mother Nature controls so much, and that's kind of what we're waiting for to see happen going forward.
Yep, and yeah, with silage harvest just upon us here in a little while here, it's always that race to not only when you get started, but then trying not to get that silage too dry before you get down to the end of it too. So it's always a tough balancing act. And I know with your experience in silage, it's great to have you on the team for those conversations.
No, you know me, I love walking cows and talking dairying. So
Yep, no, awesome. Well, Daniel, I really appreciate you jumping on the podcast here today. It sounds like it was a great event. Sounds like as I think about the AgroExpo, always think the world of the effort that goes into putting that together. So, as we do wrap up this week's episode, a couple things I want us to remember. First of all, I hope that every one of us are able to just take a little time this summer to do the things that you and your family enjoy doing together. For us, it's working with youth and livestock projects. For you, it might be time on the lake going fishing or working on pulling tractors or, just relaxing at a campground. But either way, I hope we get a chance to enjoy. And secondly, boy, I hope all of our listeners had a chance to visit the expo this year. It's always been such a great show. It's run by some great people, and it's just nice to promote the greatest industry here in the state of Michigan of agriculture. So, thanks again for tuning into this week's Agronomy in Action podcast. Stay patient, stay safe, and I'll see you in the field.